Salut tout le monde, c'est Brocorse, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve aujourd'hui pour cette vidéo Nintendo Treehouse Live de octobre 2020 sur Pikmin 3 Deluxe et Hyrule Warriors, l'ère du fléau. Donc je pense qu'ils vont d'abord commencer par Pikmin, ça me paraît assez logique, ils sortent un petit peu avant. Et puis je pense qu'ils garderont le jeu le plus fort pour la suite de la vidéo, histoire de ne pas faire trop tomber les vues sur leur Treehouse. Donc concernant Pikmin, eh ben, moi j'aime beaucoup cette licence, donc j'ai déjà fait en réalité Pikmin 3 sur la Wii U, j'ai beaucoup aimé le jeu. J'ai fait tous les Pikmin, voilà. Donc je suis quand même intéressé par celui-là parce que je suis curieux de voir ce qu'ils vont avoir à rajouter dans cette édition de luxe. Voilà, c'est juste les petits trucs qu'ils vont avoir mis en plus, s'il y a vraiment un online pour le multi et tout, je suis intéressé par ça aussi. Si vous avez jamais fait Pikmin, regardez des vidéos et tout. Je pense que ça devrait vous intéresser si vous aimez les jeux un peu tactiques, de réflexion-action. C'est très intéressant. Et concernant Hyrule Warriors, hier ils nous ont annoncé Pharas, pru'ha et le roi. Ils nous ont presque annoncé comme s'ils allaient être jouables. Je pense que ça va être le cas. Donc peut-être qu'on va les voir en démo aujourd'hui pendant ce Treehouse. En tout cas j'espère. Mais il nous reste encore aussi des prodiges à voir en gameplay qu'on n'a pas encore vu, puisque pour l'instant on a vu que Daruk, Link et on a vu Impa aussi d'ailleurs, très intéressant, Impa. C'est 19h et ça commence, bah écoutez, c'est parti. Ah non, starting soon, très très bien. Donc ouais, on a vu Impa. Impa était très intéressante, elle a un gameplay très nerveux, très ninja et j'aime beaucoup ça. Et je me demande du coup comment va être le gameplay de Pharas, s'il est jouable. On sait que c'est un mécano de génie dans Breath of the Wild, donc peut-être qu'il va se servir de machines, peut-être de flèches archaoniques et des choses comme ça, puisque c'est lui qui les fabrique. Puis on a pru'ha aussi. Donc ouais, je suis curieux de voir comment ça va se jouer tout ça.
Hi
Allez,
everyone,
parti.
I'm JC from the Nintendo Treehouse, and this is Nintendo Treehouse Live. Nintendo Treehouse Live is a way for us to give folks a sneak peek of some of the games and projects we're working on. In this case, we have two projects to show you today. Later in the program, we're going to give you a look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. But first, we do want to give you a look at a game that we
Ouais, donc
very,
effectivement, il va
very
commencer
near and dear to
par
us in the
Pikmin 3.
Treehouse, which is
Préciser
Pikmin3
qu'ils avaient
Deluxe.
deux projets, bien
And
évidemment, à nous
who
montrer.
better to show us through a Pikmin game than my
Mais on
man
commence
Corey.
par Pikmin. Donc,
So Corey and I are going to take you through a little bit of the main adventure story mode, if you will, and we'll sprinkle a couple of new things along the way. So Corey, want to kick us off?
Yeah, thank you. It is my pleasure to talk anything Pikmin related. As you mentioned, JC, we are showing Pikmin3 Deluxe today, and right now we're in story mode, probably about 5 minutes into the story, past the introduction, tutorial, cutscenes, etc.
on est au tout début du jeu,
one of the explorers
dans les 5 premières minutes.
Generally, what the story is three Alf and two explorer companions of his crash land on this alien planet.
Je vois qu'en bas il y a un onglet avec marqué Int, c'est indice. Je me souviens pas qu'il y avait ça dans le jeu original.
Also finding food for their planet. And they meet these Pikmin creatures on the planet, which are adorable plant-like creatures we can see here that are very curious.
Ouais, donc là en fait il présente vraiment un jeu pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas Pikmin. Donc Nintendo a vraiment envie de faire aimer cette licence et elle le mérite parce que c'est vraiment une très très belle licence.
I'm going to be doing that a little bit throughout this just in order to keep the flow going as well as not to
Donc je
spoil
pense
the
qu'il
game
joue
for everyone as well. So,
à la manette normale,
but
pas au
as I
Joy-Con.
move my left stick around, you're able to see that I control my explorer.
Savoir que sur la
and
Wii
the
U,
left stick also controls this
on y
red
jouait donc
cursor
avec,
as well. So if I'm all the way out
avec
of
une
range,
Wiimote
it also moves
et le
the
Nunchuk.
explorer.
Ça fonctionnait très très bien parce que ça permettait de
If
viser avec une
I
grande
push the A
précision
button
là où on
where the
envoyait les
cursor
Pikmin.
is located, you'll toss a Pikmin to that location. And
Alors que sur GameCube on
if
faisait au
you
joystick comme il est en train de
toss
le
a
faire ici en
Pikmin
fait. Donc on est
near
revenu à
something like this
un
flower
gameplay un peu
pellet over
plus
here,
normal, à l'ancienne.
you'll see that the Pikmin automatically starts to carry it back to his base, which is called an onion. And we're going to see some sprouts pop out of the top there and then go into the ground which is the way Pikmin propagate. So if you want to get more Pikmin on your squad, you just want to bring things back to their base and then pluck the new Pikmin out of the ground. I've been using the control stick to control thus far.
On est vraiment sur une
the
présentation
cursor.
très
What I'm going to
basique.
do now
Hein.
briefly is just pause the game and switch over to motion control to control the cursor, just because that's a personal preference of mine.
Ah,
that,
on peut jouer
I started to
également
like a lot
au
more
nunchuk.
on
Ok,
the
ok.
Wii U
Voilà
release,
qui me
but
rassure.
it is totally optional
Très,
for
très
player
cool.
preference on how to control the pointer. So that red pointer where you see 23 is now being controlled with just a little bit of motion now.
Ah non, c'est pas au pointer, pardon, excusez-moi, c'est
Story-wise,
au
we
motion
are
control.
trying to reunite
Donc en
with our fellow
bougeant la
explorer,
manette.
Brittany. And if
Ok.
I pause the game using the minus button, we can see that there's sort of a radar
Curieux de voir ce que ça va donner.
being pulsating over here across the water. So it looks like I need to somehow cross the water to reach Brittany. But
Ah non, tu vas les tuer
if
là.
I try to take the direct
Idiot.
approach and just go through the water, we're finding out that the game tells us that red Pikmin are not able to go into the
Bon,
water.
je peux vous faire
The
un
water is
rapide
weak to
résumé
them.
si vous voulez.
Fortunately, I can use my
Au début de
whistle,
ce jeu, on
with
s'écrase sur
the
cette planète en
button,
compagnie de deux
and
autres
whistle
personnes
all of
d'ailleurs,
my
qui ne
Pikmin
sont pas
back
avec
to
nous pour
land.
l'instant.
So,
Et on se retrouve en
because the
compagnie de ces
Pikmin
petites
are
créatures donc,
so
qui s'appellent les
helpful
Pikmin, qui sont des
throughout my
végétaux et
adventures,
qui
you
ont
really do grow a
chaque
bond to them.
Pikmin
You do
des
not
caractéristiques
want to
différentes.
lose it
Les
in one.
Pikmin rouges résistent
But
au feu, ils sont très
there's
forts au combat.
a little creature over here that wants
On
a
a aussi les
lunch too,
Pikmin
so
bleus
Yeah,
qui
look how
sont capables d'aller
Yeah.
dans l'eau sans se
these
noyer.
yellow,
Et on a des
yellow things
Pikmin
that
jaunes
you'll
qui
come
sautent
across are
beaucoup plus
memos,
haut que
which
les
can
autres, qu'on
often
peut
give
envoyer
you a
beaucoup plus haut,
pre-hint on how
et
to,
qui peuvent faire
to
passer
go
l'électricité,
about your
ce
adventure
qui est très
here.
très
So
utile.
it recommended me tossing a Pikmin on the back of that creature, which if I toss
Et
a
donc on
couple
lance
more,
les Pikmin, vous voyez, ils
we'll
ramassent
be
des
able to
objets.
carry that creature
Plus
back
l'objet est
to
volumineux,
the
plus il faut des
base to
Pikmin
get
pour le
more
porter.
Pikmin
En fait,
and,
ces objets,
I actually tossed some Pikmin
tout ce qui est
on
nourriture,
this-
c'est-à-dire les créatures,
these
les
bridge
fleurs, vous voyez, il y a
tiles
des
as
espèces de
well,
jetons dans
because
les
what we're
fleurs.
able to see is even though I can't cross
Un jeton de 1 va nous
water
donner
yet, if I
une ou deux
collect
graines
enough
quand il le
bridge
ramène
tiles
au
with my
vaisseau mère,
Pikmin,
qui est un peu la
they'll be
maman
able
des
to build
Pikmin,
this
si vous voulez.
bridge. So while they
Et,
are bringing
et
those
donc on
tiles
arrache les
to
boutons de fleurs qui
the
sont au
bridge,
sol,
I can see that there's
ce qui
a
nous
few
permet
more
d'avoir
bridge
plus,
pieces
toujours
across
plus de
this
Pikmin. On peut
wall,
en avoir jusqu'à
but I
100.
need to break down that wall. So if I toss
Et
a
quand on
couple
a des
Pikmin at
Pikmin
the
de
wall,
différentes
they'll start
couleurs, il y a
breaking
des
down,
vaisseaux
but
mères,
they'll go pretty slowly.
différents
So
vaisseaux
if
mères
I
de
wanna
différentes
speed up
couleurs.
the process, we
Mais on ne peut avoir au total que 100 Pikmin, c'est-à-dire que vous ne pouvez pas avoir 100 bleu, 100 rouge et 100 jaune en même temps. Vous allez
Meanwhile, we
devoir
still have our Pikmin collecting
faire
these
attention
tiles.
auxquels vous prenez avec vous en réalité
Looks
pour
like
faire les différentes
my
missions.
Pikmin also brought back that carcass from the small little creature, so we were able to get even more Pikmin.
Donc là je pense qu'il n'a pas encore, il a utilisé le sifflet, au bout d'un moment les Pikmin quand ils sont dans le sol en bouton, tous les arracher ça devient assez pénible. On peut maintenir le bouton et ça le fait automatiquement, mais si on met un coup de sifflet constant sur les Pikmin encore en terre, en fait ils sautent automatiquement de terre, ce qui est très 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 utile. Donc là il y a un truc à récupérer, une memory card. Donc oui, on récupère aussi des objets un peu étranges qui racontent un peu l'histoire de la planète sur laquelle vous vous êtes écrasé. Et ça va être des boîtes de conserve, des choses comme ça, mais ça peut avoir aussi un lien avec l'univers de Nintendo du jeu. Mais pas que, on peut aussi trouver des boîtes de conserve, des fruits. Bref.
And that sound is absolutely heartrending, and I do not wish that on anyone. However, if you put Pikmin in a
Et
bad
donc oui,
situation,
et le temps
it's
passe
kind
dans
of
ce
your
jeu.
fault.
Vous voyez,
It's not
tout en haut de
theirs.
l'écran,
So take
juste
care
à la
of the
droite
Pikmin.
du monsieur qui parle, on voit
That's right. And I had to
une
go
icône
back and
d'un soleil en
collect them,
fait
as
qui
you
va se
mentioned, they
déplacer
were
de gauche à
single-minded,
droite
so once they're done with the
tout en
task,
haut
they
d'écran.
kind of just wait for their next
Et en fait, c'est
order. So
la journée qui passe.
constantly
On
needing
ne
to
peut pas
whistle to
rester
get
la
attention
nuit
whenever they complete the
sur
task.
la planète parce que c'est
And
beaucoup
we're
trop
coming up
dangereux.
against
Il y a de plus en
our
plus
second
de
creature
prédateurs
of the
qui
game here,
apparaissent
which is a larger
la nuit.
version,
Et donc
of that
les
old
Pikmin
world
seraient en
Urbosa
danger s'ils
creature.
restaient là.
And as I creep
Donc
around
avant la
here
fin de la journée, il faut
before
qu'on les
waking
ramène
up,
au vaisseau
I
mère
did
pour
want
les
to point out
planquer.
another one of the fun features of the game, which is the in-game camera. At any time, you can push the minus button to pause and kind of just see the world from your explorer's eyes, which is that pint-sized view. So we've got this Pikmin's just looking at me, waiting for his next order. Hey, buddy.
Graphiquement parlant, je vois pas d'update. Le jeu a l'air totalement similaire à ce qu'il était déjà sur la Wii U.
While this enemy is sleeping, instead of tossing my Pikmin one at a time, I'm going to use a different feature which is called Charge, which if you lock on and press the X button, will send them all of your Pikmin in your squad at the creature
Il
or
était pas
object
costaud,
at
lui.
once. And that can be very useful if you've got a large squad you're wanting them to take an order all at one time. So you can use that on the walls as well, for example.
And you mentioned that you just used that feature a couple times. I do want to point that out because I really like that feature, which is the lock-on feature. If you're
Et donc ce
familiar with
jeu
Pikmin games,
introduit aussi de
you'll
nouveaux
kind of
Pikmin. Il
remember
faut
that
savoir
there
que les
was a
jaunes,
lock-on
rouges et
feature
bleus
you
étaient
have to
présents
play
depuis
in game
le
to
premier
do it.
Pikmin
But by tapping the
sur
ZR
la
button a
GameCube.
couple times, you can cycle through targetable items on the screen.
Et dans
And
celui-ci,
so
on a
it
des
can make
Pikmin
kind of tossing
roches
and moving
qui
your
sont beaucoup plus
explorer a
gros,
lot
qui sont
faster
beaucoup
just by
plus
kind of
lents aussi,
hot swapping
mais
between different
qui
lock-on
font beaucoup
targets.
plus de
So
dégâts
I
aux
really
ennemis
dig
quand on
that.
leur lance
Yeah,
dessus.
and I think the cycling through the
Qui sont
different
capables de porter, je crois que
objects
si
and
je me souviens
enemies
bien,
is
c'est
something
un
that
seul Pikmin
really
roche
helps
est
me
capable
when
de
there are
porter
multiple, objects or you're in a tight
l'équivalent de
space.
ce que
So
doivent porter 10 Pikmin
we're coming
normaux.
across Brittany. We're getting a
Donc
little bit
1
closer to
contre
her.
10,
We are seeing
ça
that
met l'avantage, mais
fortunately
plus
she's
lent.
okay. The crash landing just
Et on a des
you know, for her to
petits
take a little
Pikmin
bit of a nap,
roses
and she needs
qui sont des
a-
Pikmin volants,
to be rescued
petites paires
now.
d'ailes,
She's kinda still trapped in here.
et qui eux sont capables de passer par-dessus les obstacles et qui sont très
Like that language
utiles
you're
et
speaking.
qui, je crois, qui
Yeah,
résistent au
the
poison.
explorers do speak
Pas
a
dire de
different
bêtises, il me
language,
semble que c'était
so,
ça.
fortunately, we as the players can see the the subtitles there. Very cute language. All right, so Brittany noticed that there was some fruit nearby, which we will see just as we round the corner. A strawberry, which looks much larger in this world to us because we, as the explorer and the Pikmin, are so tiny. And because my explorer cannot jump, the only way to reach this item is actually by tossing Pikmin near the strawberry. So you see that number 3 on the bottom. That indicates that
Oui, ce mur à droite, le mur d'Auvergne, il me semble qu'on ne peut le casser qu'avec les Pikmin de roche.
But you can throw a few more if you want the object to move a little bit
Si je dis pas
faster.
de bêtises.
And they will know instinctively the Pikmin to bring that.
Donc ça
back
c'est
to the
intéressant,
base.
c'est une
So
mécanique très
I can
utile dans le
leave
jeu.
them
Vous
on
avez
their
vu,
own
il
and
fallait que
they'll
3
get back.
Pikmin pour porter la fraise.
As we're trying
Mais en
to
en mettant
continue
le
on
double,
and rescue
en fait on se
Brittany,
déplace 2 fois plus vite.
we need to get
Et
past
comme
this
je vous expliquais
wall,
tout à l'heure, c'est
but
un
we're
jeu
finding that this
où on va se
wall
battre contre le temps,
Red Pikmin can't break down.
vite ramener le plus de choses
So
possible avant qu'il
another new
fasse nuit.
feature,
Donc en
that
multipliant
I
le
wanted
nombre
to
de Pikmin
showcase
qu'on met
here
sur les objets, en
is
fait,
these
on est
optional
beaucoup
hints
plus
that have been
efficace.
added. So if a newer player, you know, got stuck or just wanted to know what to do next, you can push up on the plus control pad, and that's going to show some hints, and then even in addition, some arrows on the ground just to let you know where to go. So it's guiding me to a nearby
d'accord.
cave here to maybe find what we
Donc
need
ça
to
y était
progress
pas.
the story.
Hein. Je me souviens pas du tout
And
de
at the
ça
top of the
dans
screen, you'll notice that
la
kind of
version
sun
Wii U.
meter, kind of
Ou alors
crawling
ça y était,
across
je l'ai
from
pas du
left
tout
to right
utilisé,
on
mais
top
il me
of the
semble pas.
screen. And that kind of indicates how much time, you know, Corey has to get through his tasks because, well, let's just say nighttime is not very nice to Pikmin.
Alors,
You want to make sure you
premier
get them
boss,
out of
si on
there
veut.
before sundown. And, you know, that actually ties into the hints also. So if this is the first time for you playing the game, if you really just want to make the most out of your day and you want something, you know, some kind of hint, feel free to use them and just it'll help you kind of explore.
Plutôt
different
facile à
ways and
battre.
different
Et à
methods
l'intérieur,
that
évidemment,
maybe you
les
weren't
Pikmin de
aware of
roche.
yet. So definitely use it.
And after defeating this enemy, we discovered that there were a new type of Pikmin that were actually inside that creature. These are rock Pikmin. And,
Ah oui, et un truc intéressant aussi, c'est que les Pikmin ont des niveaux d'évolution. Ils en ont 3. Oui, ils ont d'abord une petite feuille sur la tête, et cette feuille devient ensuite un bourgeon, un bouton de fleur, et ensuite finalement devient une fleur.
Later on, you'll see that blue Pikmin are the only Pikmin that can go in the water. So, all right. So now
Ok,
that
donc
we've
voilà
got
le vaisseau
that
mère,
in
l'oignon des
field, I would
Pikmin
like to
roche,
basically sprout a few more rock Pikmin. So
qui vont
I'm
sûrement
gonna
faire
ask
pas mal
these
de
rock
pâtier là.
Pikmin to bring it back to the onion, and we will pluck some more rock Pikmin
Ouais,
out
c'est pas mal.
before we continue our adventure. And again, one of those memos that pop up, letting you know a little game tip. I love the adorable kind of 2D artwork on those as well. All right, so we've got our rock Pikmin. We've got our red Pikmin. I feel confident we can head out of this cave now. Oops. Let me reorient myself there. There we go. So this wall that we could not break down earlier, again, if I try to throw red Pikmin, we'll see that nothing really happens. But if I push the L button, I swap between Pikmin types and can now throw rocks Pikmin, and we're seeing them break down the wall. using my whistle to gather my Pikmin back and
Le truc qui était très cool sur la version Wii U du jeu, c'est que pendant qu'on jouait sur la télévision, sur le gamepad on avait la map et ça nous permettait de voir assez précisément où se trouvaient tous nos Pikmin et ce qu'ils fabriquaient en fait, et où étaient nos alliés aussi. C'était très utile et c'est quelque chose qu'il n'y aura pas sur cette version bien évidemment.
She is super happy to no longer be confined. So now that they've reunited here, I'm able to use both Brittany and Alf at the same time. And the first kind of way that the game will teach you, it's not just for, I guess, aesthetics that you can have multiple party members, but it actually comes in handy from a strategy perspective. So having Brittany, you can toss her over a gap, toss her some Pikmin, and then at any moment while you're playing, you can push the Y button and switch to Brittany, and then we're going to see that she's able to, since she's on a higher elevation, throw some Pikmin up to reach that lemon. And if I were on a lower elevation, I'm going to whistle really quickly once they get this lemon down, we would see that if I tried to throw red Pikmin that high, they would not be able to reach that high. So there are points throughout the game where you will need to
Donc cette sonnerie qu'on vient d'entendre, c'est pour dire qu'il est midi. C'est des petits détails. Donc sur la gauche, il y a un œuf, je ne sais pas si vous l'avez vu, il y a un tout petit œuf. En fait, on peut briser cet œuf, vous voyez là sur la gauche, on peut briser cet œuf, et à l'intérieur on a du miel ou du nectar. Et en fait, ça permet à nos Pikmin d'évoluer. Et c'est très important, puisque plus on est proche d'être une fleur, et plus on va être fort et rapide. Donc très utile. Donc on est parti sur du multi, très cool. Donc du multi local. Ok.
JC doesn't have any Pikmin right now, so he can't really do much on his own. So I'm going to throw some red Pikmin your way, and you'll just have to whistle at them, and they'll be in your party.
Appreciate that.
And I'm going to keep charge of these rock Pikmin, and let's just keep making our way forward. There's some creatures up here.
Un truc que j'aime beaucoup aussi dans ce jeu, c'est que parfois les Pikmin font un peu leur vie, c'est-à-dire que si on oublie un Pikmin, je sais pas moi, près d'une fleur et tout, vous savez par exemple on l'a envoyé péter un œuf comme je vous ai montré tout à l'heure, et on oublie d'aller chercher ce Pikmin, si jamais il a une fleur à côté de lui, il va se jeter sur la fleur pour la fracasser, et si la fleur lui donne quelque chose, il va ramasser ce quelque chose et le ramener automatiquement jusqu'à la base. Donc ils font leur vie un petit peu, c'est intéressant.
And we're kind of seeing some teamwork here. JC is using his squad to do a different task than me, which is, yeah, again, we're making the most of our time, and it's fun working together. So I'm gonna, looks like I've got 7 more bridge tiles to go, and we will have this bridge completed. Come on, Rock Pikmin.
And I did time that appropriately to make sure that I wanted the red one. So I get more red Pikmin.
So our bridge should be done now almost. Looks like they've got it. Final piece is in place, and
there we go.
All right, so now that we've got the bridge, I'm just going to whistle to make sure I've got all of the kind of idle Pikmin in my party. And actually...
I'm taking some.
Yeah, okay, good. You threw some Pikmin on some enemies and some... yeah. Food, some pellets that we can bring back. And as we make our way back,
j'espère qu'ils vont dire s'il y a du online.
We're actually back where
Ça
we
m'intéresserait.
So we built a bridge, sort of a shortcut now back to the starting point. I'll go ahead and grab these red Pikmin since they're just standing there. And we're finding a new wall that we couldn't actually break down earlier when we first started. So
je sais pas s'ils vont le montrer, mais dans le jeu, normalement, il y a aussi un mode multijoueur, un mode bingo. En fait, on doit ramasser le plus de choses, et les choses qu'on nous demande le plus vite possible. Donc un écran splitté comme ça sur des niveaux spéciaux, ce qui était très cool. Mais on avait aussi un mode score où on se retrouvait dans un monde un peu comme celui qu'on voit là maintenant. Et dans un temps imparti, il fallait qu'on ramasse le plus de choses possible. Et il y avait un classement mondial sur la version Wii U du jeu. Et avec une amie, sur un des niveaux en particulier, on était très bien placé. Et quand on a vu que ce nouveau Pikmin était annoncé, enfin que ce Pikmin3 Deluxe était annoncé, on s'est dit qu'on allait se le faire. Et qu'on allait essayer de péter ce record. Donc j'espère qu'il y a du online.
Okay, I'm gonna take
So-
out.
Donc eux crachent du feu, font y a des rouges dessus.
New creatures here. All right. Oh,
Voilà.
and I did
Autrement,
not
ça
listen
brûle.
to that warning, but my rock Pikmin's lit up like a birthday candle, and he's freaking out. Similar to Pikmin, if they're drowning, as long as you whistle at a Pikmin in peril, as long as it's in time, they'll come running back to you, and they'll be okay. Here it's just letting us know that we found some bridge materials, but this time it's on the opposite side of the water, so there's going to be a little bit more complications in order to.
Donc là, je pense que vous avez compris. Il y a de l'eau
Alright,
entre nous et ce truc, donc
I also
forcément,
have
il va
some
nous
red
falloir des
Pikmin in
Pikmin
my
bleus.
party, so rather
Évidemment.
than continuing to burn my rock Pikmin, I'm gonna try to use my red Pikmin as well. Oh, thank you, teamwork.
I got you.
Nice. All right, so
There you go.
those enemies have been felled. All right, so at this point, there is the bridge that we cannot cross on the left. JC, if you kind of come up to where I'm at, I'm going to hold down the Y button, which will allow you to join my party, and then I can toss you over the water, and I can also throw some rock Pikmin over to you, because I think you're going to need some rock and some red.
Thank you.
And
Oh,
while
Pikmin
you work
riches.
on that bridge, I'll just hang out.
Sweet. Ooh, yes, found him.
Oh, nice. You
Ils
used
sont
the
pas là,
charge
les
feature.
bleus. Il me
Well
semblait qu'ils
done.
étaient ici.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to have a little bit of fun. And one of my other favorite features of the game, we showed it a little bit earlier, but that camera, I really like it. From that pint-sized perspective, oh, there's our enemy we just defeated, but we can also see some Pikmin hanging out. Do some autofocus. Oh, wow. They are just waiting for you to get your job done, lounging.
They need direction, they need guidance, they need love and support.
On est déjà
and all
sur
the other
plus de
things.
20 minutes sur Pikmin 3. Je m'attendais pas à ce que ce soit
Ok.
aussi long sur ce jeu.
Back to work. You guys.
Mais ok.
Finish
Okay.
the bridge.
Yeah, I
Je
think
pense
my
qu'ils vont
folks
faire
are
la
done on
journée
this side,
entière.
so we're good.
Actually, the one other feature I wanted to showcase briefly is another new feature to Pikmin3 Deluxe, which is called the Piklopedia. And here, any creatures that you come across in the game will get their own entries, and you can, once you go in, you can tap on it and see different entries from different explorers in your party. So we've got Alf here that's commenting on this dwarf bulborb.
Ok, ça
If
c'est
we've got
nouveau.
Brittany, we can see her comments as well. There are spaces for 3 additional explorers notes, so you can imagine that there will be
Okay.
some other fun notes to read about as well. But I find that it's really fascinating to come in because each explorer has their own take on how they talk about the enemies and creatures you come across. So yeah, that is probably enough story mode for now. I'll go ahead and pause the game and let's
Ok, ils vont
switch
passer au
over to
multi, je
another
pense que je
brand
vous
new
disais.
feature
Il a dit
to
que
Pikmin3
ça suffisait
Deluxe
pour le
called Side Stories.
mode histoire pour l'instant.
These are some elements where you'll be able to see what Captain Olimar and Louis got up to prior to the main story of Pikmin 3.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before I forget, let's also talk about. I remember we mentioned the whole the sun kind of passing over, and they have a certain limited amount of time in the day. For those people, there's actually a much more difficult mode for you. So, you want to talk about that? Gordon?
Yeah, there are 3 difficulty modes in story in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. There's normal, hard, and there is even an ultra spicy difficulty setting, which
Ok,
gives you
ils
only
ont mis des modes de
60
difficulté, ça c'est
Pikmin
très
can be
très
in the
cool.
field at once, as well as some additional challenging elements. So for those that are familiar with Pikmin 3 or want a much bigger challenge, that'll be right up your alley. But yeah, for now, let's hop into a sneak peek of side stories, which I mentioned feature Captain Olimar prior to the happenings of the main story. And we're going to see Olimar here facing the camera. Sort of the background of this is that Captain Olimar, the company he works for, is in debt yet again back on his home planet. And his boss is sending him here looking for treasure to help the company get out of debt. Olimar is a very loyal worker and will go to great lengths to make his boss and employer happy. So good for Olimar here. of course, Captain Olimar was in Pikmin 1 and the original Pikmin and Pikmin 2, as well as Louis, who was his partner in Pikmin 2. Maybe a little bit less competent than Captain Olimar, who you can see here, but still a very key member of Olimar's team.
Well, and he's got his charm. Louis got charm.
Yeah, no, Louis great. We love Louis. But let's see here. All right, the objective of this mission is actually going to be different from the story mode we were playing earlier, because now the goal is just to collect as much treasure as we can.
Donc là, vous voyez, il a un vaisseau mère particulier qui en fait réunit toutes les couleurs des Pikmin. Donc à la place d'avoir plusieurs vaisseaux mères, il n'y en a plus qu'un seul.
For the moment, we'll just switch it back to solo play for
Ce qui est
simplicity,
intéressant.
and I will, I still do get to control both explorers, so I can still get Olimar in my party. I can also call the yellow Pikmin, which we're seeing for the first time in this demo, over. And we'll see a little bit of their specialties. So we've got this electrified fence where if I throw a red Pikmin at it, we'll see them get a little bit electrocuted. But the yellow Pikmin are immune. They can be thrown at an electric fence and they can start destroying it. So we will leave Louis there to keep an eye on our yellow Pikmin while we take our red Pikmin out into the rest of the map. And we saw this creature a second ago and learned that he's got kind of fire breathing, but knowing that we've got our red Pikmin with us, we're not worried about fire. So even if they get shaken off, which this enemy creature is doing, we can just, let's do some charging actually, Adam. There we go.
Like confidence, Corey. Nice.
And since the Pikmin were nearby when he was defeated, they're just automatically going to bring him back, which I will let them do.
Ok, voilà les bleus.
And we found some wild Pikmin, blue Pikmin in the wild here, so we'll just call them. But before we hop in this water here, I'm going to swap back to Louis to see what he's up to, and he's just plucking Pikmin and keeping an eye on those yellow Pikmin. So, all right, let's take our blue Pikmin into the water. Again, blue Pikmin are the only Pikmin that can survive in the water. We found a creature in here that's a little bit hard to see, but he's under the water here. You can see that pie chart slowly starting to disappear. And this number 5 is actually the amount of gold treasure, gold nuggets here. As the Pikmin take this treasure back to the base, we're going to see in our upper left the currency start to increase, which are Pocos, which is the currency of Olimar and Louis' home planet. So that is my objective, to bring back as much treasure as we can. Looks like the yellow fence is almost done, but not quite, so we will... we lost some.
Je suis un peu inquiet, il parle pas du tout d'online, alors pas du tout.
That
oui.
sound, Corey.
I was not as smart as I could have been.
Oui.
I lost some Pikmin because there's this creature down here that is electric, that I believe he either electrocuted my blue Pikmin or maybe ate them, but
Maybe both.
Take him out. Yeah, maybe both. Yeah. I can still throw blue Pikmin at him, but once he starts to generate electricity, you want to get away. All right, I think we've got him. The blue Pikmin. All right, they're bringing him back.
Donc le truc à savoir aussi, c'est quand vous ramenez une proie comme ça jusqu'au vaisseau mère.
Head back here with
Vous voyez, il a des jaunes et des bleus. Et en fait, c'est la couleur prédominante qui aura droit aux graines. Donc, si vous avez par exemple 6 Pikmin bleus et 5 jaunes, ça donnera des graines
I
bleues.
also noticed that you're walking by a couple of different fruit and stuff like that, and I also want to point out the different ways you can kind of think about a map. Because, from my perspective, if you have a large
Et vous voyez, là, en l'occurrence, il avait une majorité de Pikmin jaunes.
how much you can grab, because a large piece of fruit or
Donc, il a des graines
large
jaunes.
one requires a lot. If it's farther away from your base, you're not only going to need to, have the number to carry that item, but if you find something on the way back, you're going to need enough to, like if you want spur of the moment just to go pick it up, you're going to need to also have enough Pikmin to pick up that item as well. So I always try to memorize, like, where items are, what did I see, where did I pass it, is there anything else en route that I could probably take the next time I come back. And so it also creates a really interesting kind of play mechanic where I'm kind of thinking about how could I do this better, right? It's like I did it in this order last time. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this map one more time, and I know I can get more out of it. I know I missed that. I missed this. So lots of replay value here.
And I can already tell you, replay value. I've already made multiple mistakes that I would not have wanted to do, such as losing those blue Pikmin early. So if I played this again, there would have been things I would have done differently. But while I've got these Pikmin bringing back grapes, I'm going to switch back to Louis here, just to make sure that I always want to have my Pikmin doing something in this mode, because again, you want to create that high score and get as much treasure as you can. So, all right, we've got this gold nuggets going, and looks like these Pikmin are still working on the grapes. Keep an eye on them.
Oui, il va t'en rester quand même pas.
All right, let's go back to base, because there might just be some idle Pikmin at base waiting for their next order, which there are. Let's take them out for their next adventure.
Give them purpose, Corey.
Ooh, and pluck some more Pikmin. All right, while they're plucking. While Pikmin are being plucked, it's always a good idea to switch to your other explorer. All right. Because you can't, while they're being plucked, there's not really much else that those guys can be doing. So, all right. Got another creature here whose weakness is actually on his back, because he's got this shell on the front. Let's see if we can just charge. Oh no.
That didn't go as planned.
Oh no.
Eh oui.
Didn't see that. No, let's just get away from that.
Oh man, that
Not all
sound.
Pikmin, not all creatures are actually small though. Even though we bailed out of that battle, and that creature was quite small, there are some creatures that are much more intimidating and large that you'll come across.
Donc là, il faut privilégier les Pikmin jaunes dans un premier temps pour les envoyer jusqu'au bulbe central. Et puis quand ils s'abaissent, vous pouvez envoyer les autres. Mais quand on débute le jeu, c'est un combat assez compliqué.
To end for now. I don't want to spoil too much of these side stories. But yeah, let's end here for now. But we've got one more mode that we wanted to showcase, which is completely different from anything we've shown so far. And it is a one-on-one competitive mode called Bingo Battle.
Donc le mode
so
bingo que je vous disais tout à l'heure.
You know, it's definitely one of, I think, our favorite modes in the Treehouse, because it gets really,
Il n'a
really
toujours
heated.
pas parlé de
You'll
online.
see.
Je suis très inquiet.
And the objective of Bingo Battle really is to fill out your bingo card. I'm going to be on the right side, Cora will be on the left. And of course, if you're familiar with bingo, all you have to do is just make a line. It could be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, any kind of line. And to fill out each of those little spaces, you have to collect either an item or an enemy to fill in that space. Sometimes there's multiple of an item, sometimes there's not. But if you take a look at the two cards in the bottom and the middle, you'll notice that there are the same items, but they are placed differently on each of our bingo cards. And I'm not as good at this mode as Corey, so I'm going to focus a little bit, craft my strategy of what I want to focus on first, and
yeah, I can talk a little bit about what's going on right now. Since we start with only 5 Pikmin by default, of course you can customize that, but because we start with 5, you're going to want to create a larger Pikmin squad as quickly as you can, because the more Pikmin that you have in your squad, the more that you're able to accomplish, and the more that you're able to divide tasks if you need to divide tasks, like building a bridge or sending some to one area and some to another. JC pushed the minus button there to pull up the map, which either player can do. If you're ever not sure where a specific item on the bingo board that you want to collect is, it's simple as pulling up that map to say, oh, I need to get an orange. Then where's the orange on the map? I'm going to go get that because that's what I need to complete my bingo card.
C'est un mode très amusant.
Je
préfère le mode qu'on a vu précédemment, donc avec Olimar et Louis, mais celui-là est très rigolo aussi.
So we've been collecting some of those bridge tiles to build a bridge so we can cross the water.
And there's a lot of deep strategy in here too. While Corey's talking, I'm actually thinking about a couple things. Like, for example, taking a look at the bingo card that I have and actually targeting the corners. If I target the corners, which I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but you wouldn't normally. If you target corners, that means you have with one item, you're able to get like a horizontal, vertical, and diagonal line all at the same time.
Sure. You got that?
Yeah, absolutely. And just
why are you coming into my base? Oh, JC. So that is a good point to show that, yeah, you can go into each other's bases. And JC threw some Pikmin towards me, which started, they kind of just start like thwacking at my head, which is really annoying. but very effective, and I have to use the control stick to shake them off. My Pikmin can defeat JC's Pikmin, which is nice, but if our Pikmin do encounter each other, they will want to...
I just saw one of my Pikmin get slapped by yours, and...
oh, did they fight each other a little
yeah,
bit?
actually, it's on me now, but don't worry. The songs will be sung of you, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Go get him. Go get him.
Okay, let's...
Yeah.
I see that
Numbers.
JC has an item, actually, from a roulette that he
do.
has, which is a triple rocks, which he is able to use and drop on me, so I actually have to be really careful here.
I'm being very quiet about it. And now he just... Alright, he pointed it out, so that's fine. Okay. Gotta move, gotta think. Okay.
And again, yeah, you do want to sometimes be aware of what your opponent's up to in this game.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay.
Because they can be... JC can get pretty crafty at times.
Alright.
Alright.
I'm gonna take a little detour here, and I'm gonna start
Okay.
strategizing by pulling some of these
This
Pikmin I
guy.
found that are my color, but they are in the water. So now I'm gonna try and get some of these. I'm gonna grab these blue ones.
Let's get you in the water. Yeah. Oh.
Je me demande si c'est en live ou si ça a été
I tried to
enregistré.
lure
Ça.
your red Pikmin in the water.
No,
See if they would follow
stay
me.
away from my babies.
Okay. Need some cherries.
I'll take care of that. That's fine.
So this is the first time I'm
Ah, il y a des
finding a
noyés là.
cherry
Whoops.
item, which
That's probably
Ouh là là.
again, these cherries give me
Sorry,
a
sorry.
free spin on
C'était
the
chaud.
item roulette, which can often change the tides of battle. So I'm wanting to get as many of these cherries as possible. Back to my base. All right, I've got a rock. So my cherry got me a free
Oh, this is
bomb
actually
rock,
not good.
which I can
man,
throw
am
a
just-
Pikmin at this
oh.
rock, and now I've got a rock, a bomb rock basically. So if I throw that bomb rock at a, let's just throw it in an enemy right now.
Ce sera pas suffisant, je
Oh,
pense.
he woke up and
Ah,
got out of it.
dommage.
Oh man, that was kind of a waste.
Let me see if I can actually get
We can use electricity
Oh,
to just sort
jerk.
of be annoying to JC there and temporarily disable him. Another item that I picked up through that I got from my cherry is sort of a free spin on the item roulette, which is this golden object, which if I use it will fill up a spot on my bingo card randomly, which looked like was an apple.
Oh,
Non.
nope. It's the water. It's the water. It's the water. No.
All right.
Okay.
I think this guy here. Really thinking he's in charge.
I need to
Leave him
find a different way
alone.
around this because
Okay. So I need two. I see the line that I want, but I'm. Oh no! That was a direct hit.
Ouh,
Oh
le
my
carnage.
Gosh, you got me at like the right.
Ils
I have
sont
one-
tous
Oh,
morts.
I have
staring at
one
your screen,
Il lui
I'm
en reste
sorry.
qu'un.
I'm down to one single Pikmin. If I win this map,
Oh man.
JC will never live it down.
Oh, dude, yeah. If I won't.
He got me
I
sleeping,
won't.
and I have one Pikmin. I
Let's
wish
see if I can actually just.
I had.
Oh,
more
I
than
really
one.
shouldn't do this though.
I need.
Dude, these
To
guys are
get
gonna
more
get so
Pikmin.
eaten.
Oh man.
If I get distracted, maybe. Let it toss. It's fine.
I just.
Oh, it's still shaking so much. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Come on! I need a cherry.
Okay, dude, if I could just pick up, where was that? I really shouldn't be checking this right now, but that's
On est
right,
à
all the
38
enemies
minutes sur
actually show up as
Pikmin,
a
mais combien de
green,
temps va durer cette présentation? C'est
green
incroyable.
flashing dot, so I'm actually trying to find.
J'espère que ce sera aussi long pour Zelda. Ce sera génial
The long,
que ce soit aussi long.
long battle.
Go, 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 go. Oh,
Me and my
blue
buddy.
ones.
You're my
Where
boy,
are my
Blue.
blues? Did we just say blue at the same time?
Il aurait pas dû laisser ses
Oh,
Pikmin
that was
derrière
exactly
lui.
what I needed. Okay. So the item that I just got was a 10 free Pikmin basically, which sprout at my base.
Come on. Come on, this will work. This will work.
But I need way more. JC looks like he just needs the red Bulborb.
Vous voyez à
and
gauche,
the
cet insecte
red
volant,
Marble
c'est un
with the
enfer,
gold
voilà.
in
Like these
route.
two?
Il fonce
Yeah.
sur vos Pikmin, il en chope un au hasard,
I think I'm gonna have enough
il se balade avec et il le replante dans le sol quelque part.
Happening.
C'est-à-dire qu'il ne le tue pas,
Oh, this
mais
is so
il
good.
immobilise.
Oh, my
JC
palms are
got it.
sweaty.
C'est très
I'm so
handicapant.
excited. That's so good.
So what was I think from my perspective, what really turned the tides there is I was about to defeat both Bulborbs that I needed, but that rock came down at just the inopportune moment. And I had just kind of forgotten that JC still had that item. So
Yeah,
well
I was actually
done. You used it at exactly the right time.
That feels so good, guys. Okay.
JC feels way too good right now, so we're going to play one more game. This one is going to be over in probably 2 minutes because I have way more incentive now to not take it easy. I'm not saying I was taking it easy last time, but
that felt so good.
this
Oh my
is a
gosh.
much smaller stage, so JC and I are probably going to come to a skirmish much quicker than we did in the last game. So there's really less of an opportunity.
Ah, j'ai vu qu'il y avait des
to make
Pikmin
mistakes
roses,
here. There's
si je me
also
trompe pas.
just a lot
On va
of,
voir.
again, the map is small, so we want to be acting very quickly with our moves.
Non, ou bien c'était juste les Pikmin de
And
l'autre qui
Corey,
ont...
again, because
des
Corey
feuilles
pointed out
roses.
the map is really small, you're probably going to see us get into some pretty heated.
Yeah, the
pretty
only
heated battles
thing,
real
the
quick.
only thing in between us is that really this orange Bulborb.
Là, il va y avoir
enemy
un
that you
carnage
kind
s'il
of,
fait pas
see
attention.
here, that's sort of harassing me at my base right now.
Ah, ça va.
So other than that, we can just sort of waltz into each other's bases.
Which scares me because we're so close.
Et il ne parle toujours pas de online. S'il vous plaît, dites-moi qu'il y a du online sur ce jeu.
Come on. Come on. Oh, it's a big one. I didn't see it. Oh, run.
Oh, man.
No. No, this is bad. This is bad. All bad. So many. I sound of dying Pikmin. Okay. So I need to be smart about this here. Let's just do this. Okay. So I'll take that back. Get some numbers. This one's okay. Use a charge. Let's see
Oh
what
man,
else we
these
can get.
Bulborbs are just hungry, and wow, I do not like that they're on my side of the map right now. It's almost as if you sent them over here, but I know you didn't.
I did not. Speaking of sending things over. You... Oh my gosh!
So it's only nice
no.
to give gifts that I gave JC the gift of the same bomb rocks that he sent me earlier.
I wonder if that actually worked out in my favor, because at least he's not seeing that I'm actually trying to steal one of the only things on the map that exists, which is a golden strawberry.
Nope, not
No,
seeing
no,
it
no, no,
totally
no,
at
no,
all.
no, no,
I have
you
no
are-
idea what you're doing.
No, that's,
Were
hold
you
on,
doing
cancel the block.
something?
Nope, we're good.
Golden strawberry, you said?
No, mine. I have numbers. But no.
So all I need now is a red strawberry, which it looks like is right behind my base. And so as long as our... Oh, wow. Yeah, so I
Fight.
can give up. I don't need to worry about the golden strawberry because I've got my
He's got the other one.
the red delicious sunseed berry for the quick bingo. I think that was a little over 2 minutes. So
That was
I
a little
will-
over. That was a speed. That was like a
Ok, ça a été
mercy
rapide,
win
c'est bien.
right there. You were
It gets
just ending
really
it quickly.
competitive playing
Oh.
bingo battle. As you can see from a little bit of a taste, we absolutely love this mode. But really all the modes offer a little bit of a different type of gameplay. So we hope you're looking forward to checking out Pikmin3 Deluxe. Be on the lookout for an eShop demo that will include save data transfer to the full game. And if you complete the eShop demo, defeat the last boss in the demo, you'll be able to start the full game with Ultra Spicy mode if you'd like that extra challenge.
Ok, donc
So
une démo
again,
arrive.
thanks for
Donc ça c'est
checking
très
out
très
a little
cool.
bit of Pikmin3 Deluxe. Don't forget the game itself comes out on October 30th.
Awesome. Thanks, Corey. Again, really appreciate it. Thanks for letting me have that one win.
Zéro
because that
info
does
sur
not
le
happen
online.
often.
C'est
And
la
again, I can't wait to play
tristesse.
some more bingo battle with you, in October. So, coming up next, obviously, is I'm waiting for this too, which is Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. So, over to you, Kay.
Thanks, JC. Thanks, Corey. Wow, Pikmin looks like a lot of fun. Hi, everyone. I'm Kay from Nintendo Treehouse, and I've got my colleagues Chico and Kendra here with me. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we are doing this remotely. So there might be some technical limitations, but we're asking for your patience and your understanding as we work as hard as we can to bring you an amazing stream. So today we're going to take a look at Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which takes place 100 years before Breath of the Wild
On est au courant,
and tells
merci.
the story of the Great Calamity and the events leading up to it. which really can only be told through the 1 versus 1,000 action of a Warriors game. We'll start off with a first look at Urbosa. I'm so excited.
Urbosa.
Chico, are you ready?
Trop cool.
Yes, I am. So
let's get started.
I'm fine. I know. I'm playing as Urbosa right now, as you can see.
Ok, on est dans
And
la cité
I'm
Gerudo.
actually inside the little town right now. And then it is a Hyrule Warriors
Avec Link
game,
et
so
Zelda.
you'll be using X and Y button to do weak and strong attack, and then also A. Oh wait, Iga Master is coming. Right now, the little town is under attack by Iga clan. But I don't want to talk about why they're here. But the objective is I have to actually defeat all 3 Iga Blade Masters. So to do that, in addition to the usual Hyrule Warriors action, I have to move to counterattack. And I can use, I just use the stasis now, as you can tell. But each character can use all 4 different runes in different occasions. So I need to focus on attacking him right now. So I'm going to let Kay and Kindra talk about what's unique about Urbosa.
Classe.
Great, thank you so much, Chico.
Donc on a vu le
Urbosa
petit robot
gameplay
gardien qui est là aussi.
Really fun
Je crois qu'il suit
and
Link.
And as you can see, it's focused on her ability to use an attack with lightning. She
Il y avait des
has
rubis aussi. Je suis pas sûr qu'on en ait vu
ability
jusqu'à
to
maintenant.
charge up lightning, which is represented by the gauge at the top of the screen. And yep, she's charging it right there. And once it's charged up, she can actually use the lightning in addition to her strong attacks to kind of strengthen those attacks and do some really character specific stuff with it.
Ouh, belle esquive.
She also uses lightning in her weak point counters and in her special attacks. And if Chico can get the timing right, after some of these big attacks where there's still some electricity lingering in the air, she can charge up her electricity super quick, which takes a lot of skill and a lot of timing, but it's very satisfying when you can pull it off.
Donc on voit qu'elle n'a pas encore la tunique des, la tunique des
And
prodiges.
And I just wanted to add too, aside from the gameplay that you're seeing, well, first of all, oh wait, no,
Oh my gosh.
Tiens, tiens.
There's a Korok.
There it is. It's so cute.
So clearly Koroks are in the stages that you can find.
Ok.
But this is the first time that people get to play as Urbosa, which is already super awesome. And this area probably looks pretty familiar to
On
some
peut aussi aller à
Wild
l'intérieur.
fans.
Intéressant.
Yep.
And it's
the
cool
whole
to
town
see
looks
these
so
places.
great.
Pre-calamity. But what I did want to say is fans can look forward to getting more backstory on these characters as well. You really get a good look at Urbosa's relationship to Zelda, and also more information about Urbosa's relationship to Zelda's late mother. So if you're like me and you love to get to know the characters and get to know them in ways that you didn't get to in Breath of the Wild, this game is your opportunity to do that.
Pas mal de dégâts. La caméra galère un peu. Les espaces sont assez étroits, du coup c'est assez compliqué. Bon, il est mort clairement. À dégager. Ouais, vous voyez, le petit robot suit Link. Pas de doute. Et on sort de la cité. Ok. C'est vrai qu'on n'avait pas encore vu Zelda. Tiens, tiens.
In addition to being able to use them just like everyone else, and she can create different combinations of runes to take out huge swarms of enemies. Oh my gosh. In a very unique way. It's so cool to see Zelda being able to take out these guys.
Yeah, and for me, anytime Zelda gets to, you get to play as Zelda and annihilate enemies as Zelda, it's pretty much a win for me because Zelda in a Zelda game.
Yeah. Well, and she's
Ok,
really fun to
intéressant.
play as in this one.
La photo fatale.
Nice work. Nice work.
I'm just gonna go back to Urbosa because she is my favorite. And
She's great.
I know Zelda is great, but yeah. Okay, so I
Urbosa's
have
also
to
great.
chase
But
after.
Urbosa.
Il court très vite, Urbosa.
Yes, definitely.
Ou les Alphos.
I have to chase after the Iga from people, so I'm gonna go after that to the location I'm told to go. There looks like there's a lot of people here.
Ah ok, ils vont chez les Yiga.
And for people who are new to the Warriors series, as you can see, there are prompts on the screen that help guide you through the process of the gameplay and the action. But you
vache.
also can turn those off if you want to.
Je me demande si une fois qu'ils ont les tenues de prodige, ils ont une super attaque avec leur créature divine.
Objective is to
Ce serait intéressant.
defeat the enemies with loud attack. So I think I need to do. Oh, I can't use right now, but I will wait till my rune fills up first. But
Make some noise,
okay,
Chico.
so I'm going.
Do
I'll
it.
do that. Hold on,
Hmm,
hold
elle
on,
a
hold
lancé
on.
une bombe, vous avez vu?
These guys are well.
This guy's really getting in your way. So as you can see, when you use the Sheikah runes, there is a little bit of a wait time for it to charge back up before you can use it again, which is very similar to how it worked in Breath of the Wild. Oh man, that was a gorgeous takeout right there. And the
So I
reason
guess I
for
did that.
using these loud attacks was to call forth a certain
Un
familiar
Moldaver. Ouais,
monster.
Moldaver, excellent.
And there he is. Oh man.
You sure it's not a lady though?
I think he's beautiful.
Yeah, he's too scary, and he's coming after me. So I don't think I want to do this. Bye bye.
Now let's go ahead and
That's it.
let's escape to the main menu while we can.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back to the world map and show some of the gameplay between battles, leveling up characters, strengthening weapons, and unlocking things. There it is.
Alors c'est
Very
vraiment la carte
familiar
de Breath of the Wild, très très cool.
Map of Hyrule. Chico, do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so if you ever play, like
Oui,
on
en haut à droite, on voit le bébé gardien qui nous montre quelque chose.
You may be familiar with how the menu look like. You will go from chapter 1, 2, 3 type thing. But this one, you actually go through different chapters and locations using the map of Hyrule from the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And when I first saw this, I was literally screaming because it was so gorgeous, and I just loved it. And because it's a Hyrule Warriors game, when you're playing the stages, you collect a lot of different type of materials. So using those materials, you can unlock different locations on the map, like the stables, other training grounds, and even like different dishes you can cook type thing. So one of the things I wanted to show is actually here, blacksmith. So
Forgeron.
it is a Hyrule Warriors game, so you will be collecting a lot of different weapons while you are in the stage.
Ok.
Not like Breath of the Wild, you don't. The weapons do not break during the stage.
Les armes ne
You
se
can
brisent
use
pas.
these weapons you collected to strengthen your primary use weapon. So, right now I'm using.
Ok, c'est intéressant.
this,
Donc on peut utiliser toutes les armes
sword, but
qu'on
there's
récolte sur le
other
champ de
type of
bataille pour
weapons I
augmenter
can get,
notre
and
arme
different,
principale.
way to use it. So I want to use my sledgehammer, iron sledgehammer, and fuse them with all the materials I got so far.
With the level
And I
1
think
soup
I'm-
ladle that you will not neglect. Don't you dare.
Okay, so I'm.
Okay. Whew. I was worried.
I shouldn't. Is it okay? It's okay.
No, use it. Use
Okay,
it.
so
Oh, yes, it's
you
okay.
can use up to 5 different weapons, and then you can strengthen.
Ok,
And
d'accord.
of course,
Intéressant.
you can use the rupees, so make sure you collect the rupees when you are in the stage too. and now I have my sledgehammer leveled up to 5, so I can use that for next battle if I want to. Another thing is the materials you collected. You can make the dish. So let's see, this one is
Donc ça, c'est une
made.
mécanique
So
intéressante
spur
qui serait d'ailleurs
fish
intéressante, je pense, dans
and
Breath
you
of the
need
Wild
the
2,
materials 5
qu'on puisse
fish.
récupérer
So I
différents
have
matériaux pour
trout.
augmenter
So now
une de
I
nos
love
armes
that dish.
principales.
So I can earn the recipe for chili
Alors
fish
peut-être pas la
stew.
Master Sword, parce que la Master Sword, elle est déjà très bien.
Right,
love
and the
this song.
recipes
Mais nos
can be
arcs,
used to give your characters
ou
a
d'autres
little bit
épées
of
aussi,
a
pourquoi pas.
buff before you go into battle. And there are a bunch of
Mhm.
different types that have different effects, so it's pretty fun to
On peut
collect
cuisiner,
them and see
ok.
what they do. Yep,
And
they
then
also
by
have
defeating the oh, go ahead.
yeah, so by defeating monsters and getting those materials, you can also turn them into these other quests, which you can use to unlock bonus combos or extra health or other
Ok,
such
intéressant.
things.
Des blocs
But
de
the thing I
technique.
really
Hein.
like about these is that
Okay.
they have little stories that go along with them, little glimpses into the characters' lives between battles during this war. The one that we just did, for example, is about a young child in Hateno village who wants to build a monster dummy so that they can practice using a two-handed sword. And so Link actually brings the materials to make the dummy, creates this dummy, helps them build it, and then they train together. And that's how Link is able to come up with an extra move for his two-handed sword.
Donc Link là est déjà niveau
And I love it
18.
because Link's from Hateno village. So it's very cute glimpse into his life.
Yeah, the world building
So-
is really excellent in this game.
Yeah, we just strengthened this 200. I mean, sledgehammer is basically a 200 sword type. So I'm going into the training mission where I can actually use this sledgehammer to showcase how the 200 sword or 200 weapon will work in this game. So I changed my weapon, and I guess I can change my tire.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Oh, yeah,
unlock
good.
different pieces of armor as you progress through the game, and you can equip or, I guess, unequip them and dress him up however you want.
They look nice.
yeah,
What are you
this is-
talking about?
This is
And
Link's,
also,
training attire.
Donc je peux faire attention. Est-ce que les armures
also this
augmente
is
nos
the
capacités.
jellyfish skewer we just got from the
Hmm.
recipe location, so I can use that.
Right, and every character will react differently to the dishes that you cook for them. And some characters even have favorite dishes, and they'll say something different when you give them their favorite dish.
Ok, ça, c'est
So
intéressant.
it's a
Donc
lot
elle
of
vient de
fun
dire
to
que
try out
les
a bunch
personnages
of
allaient
different
réagir
recipes
différemment aux
and see,
différentes recettes que l'on
which
cuisine.
your
Et ils peuvent
characters
aussi avoir des
prefer.
recettes préférées.
Yeah, and if
Intéressant.
you watch the TGS live stream, you might have seen the cutscene where it's showing the tower actually raising from the ground, and tower is actually going to be a base for Link whenever he goes to the next mission. So I think you just saw him kind of like warping
Ok, donc
from
les
the
tours qui
tower
sortent
to
du sol,
that
comme on a pu le voir
location,
lors de
where
la
I can
démonstration
be
précédente
showcasing the
au
200
Tokyo Game Show,
sword training.
servent de base à Link
Right.
sur
so
la région dans
yeah,
laquelle il est.
it is a training mission.
Hey, don't judge me.
Donc là, il est en entraînement.
I mean,
Oh, there's no
the two-handed
judgment.
sword is a lot of
If
work.
anything, I just feel bad for Link.
Wow.
No, you know, he
I guess
works
there's
up
less
quite a
fabric to
sweat
get in the
swinging
way
that
while
thing
he's
around.
fighting.
Yeah, so as you can see, this is a training level, so you're fighting against a lot of Hyrulean soldiers, and using the two-handed sword, which
En fait, c'est pas Ganon qui a tué les
you know,
soldats, c'est
aesthetically
Link.
does look a lot like how it was used in Breath of the Wild. In this game, it's slower but more powerful than the one-handed sword. But the fun thing about it is that he can use
ouais.
the unique action to strengthen his strong attacks. In exchange, he takes a little bit of temporary damage,
Like this.
like that. And in order to heal that temporary damage, you can press X to consume a meal in the middle of battle.
And
I love the animation
Chico,
for him eating.
yeah, let's
Yeah,
see
I
it,
love the
Chico.
animation for him eating.
Let's
Yeah,
get near
if
some
she'll do it
enemies.
for us.
Sorry. I was focusing.
Oh, no,
Get
no,
near
no,
some
no.
enemies. Oh no, not quite. Okay, so but one of those eating animations is highly aggressive, and if Chico does it near some enemies, then we will see what happens. And hopefully we'll get an opportunity to show you that because
Les
I
combos
love
qui
it.
rentrent sont très très cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Aggressive food eating.
I love
the
it.
Shockwave blast, sending the soldiers flying.
I love that they included that in this game as part of the actual fighting style for the two-handed sword. I think it's a great homage to Breath of the Wild and people who played it like I did, which is to say having a stockpile of apples or something in my inventory so I could chow down when I'm being blown back by a strong attack that did lots of damage.
Très costaud le capitaine.
You can aggressively eat your apples and send those soldiers
Aggressively eat your apples. It's the only way to eat apples in this game.
If you burn
Alright, how many
apples,
KOs do
you
we
can
have?
actually get grilled apples here.
Oh yeah.
So I have to
Attendez, je viens de réaliser, mais c'est le ranch long.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're more than halfway.
Qui
I'd
est
also
détruit
like to point out
dans Breath of
that
the
this
Wild, comme voilà.
location is very familiar. It appeared as ruins in Breath of the Wild, but now, before the calamity, it's in
J'avais
its
bien l'impression, ouais.
heyday. And it's very cool to see what it looked like before it got destroyed.
Yeah, and
Nice
Chico,
one,
maybe you can
Chico.
show us some lightning rod action.
What? Hold on.
Oh yeah, we did get to see the ice rod
This
before.
one? Oh,
Yeah, that one.
Poor soldiers. Wait,
You can do it. So, as you can see, she's timing her attacks for when that weak point gauge comes out. The big strategy against these stronger enemies is to cut down that weak point gauge and create an opening so you can do a counter attack, which can be very powerful. Nice one.
A little bit more.
Donc il lui reste 1 minute 20 pour tuer encore 380 ennemis. Un tout petit peu plus.
I love the two-handed sword so much. I think it's my favorite. It's so satisfying, to just slam through all of these enemies, these thousands and thousands of enemies. And also to take a little break to have a snack here and then. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is my favorite one.
I'm hoping we can.
I know your favorite is
show
the
some
Zoot
flurry
Flavour.
rush too. Oh, of course.
I'm trying! I suck at this thing!
You
What?
don't.
No, you don't. You're doing great. You're almost there.
You need to find another one of those captains.
Okay. No, he's not there. Yeah, done.
Nice.
Tiens, tiens,
There we
tiens.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Look,
no, no,
On
no,
va
It's
s'entraîner contre
correct.
Daruk.
my
Oh.
favorite.
Super.
Oh, he's
Petit
really
freeze.
good moving character too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
J'espère que c'était le stream et pas le jeu.
Quickly for someone of his size, though, I have to say.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh!
you can do it, Chico. I believe in you.
Keep your own size. I mean, he's like 2 times
Oh my
bigger than me.
goodness.
Oh my gosh. That looks like a little bit of rough play for training.
They take their training very
Hey.
seriously.
There's
Nice work.
Ah! Take
Nice
that.
Yeah,
work.
wow.
Man, you made very quick
You
work
took
of
them out
the
really
route. Good
fast.
job.
Yeah, you did.
Donc on sait
Alright,
toujours
let's
pas à
cut
quoi sert
away
ce
from
petit
this for a
robot.
second, 'cause we have one other thing we'd like to show you.
Ok.
Chico's got to set it up though.
Mhm.
I love Daruk. He's so great. He's such a
Well, and it's really
fun character.
Alors est-ce qu'on va voir un autre prodige ou un des persos
it's cool
qu'ils
to
ont
see
annoncé
all
hier,
the various
s'ils sont jouables,
characters,
que ce soit
you know,
Pharas,
that we no one
pru'ha
loved
ou
from
le
Breath of the
roi.
Wild, but seeing them in this different setting and seeing all of their special moves and how those differ, I do really like seeing that, and I'm excited for what we're about to show you as well, you, the viewers.
Eh ben, il faut nous montrer, s'il vous plaît.
Yeah, it's great. It's an amazing thing that they've done with this game to bring us into this era, you know, pre-Calamity, and show us all these characters and show us the intricacies of how they interact and how they perform in battle.
Bon, moi maintenant on
It's
sait
stuff
à quoi
that
servent les
I
choses
think
que l'on récolte,
personally, as a fan
que
of
ce
Breath
soit
of the
les armes
Wild,
ou la
I
nourriture ou
wished
même
for
donc les
so
rubis.
hard was the
On va
chance to
crafter
be
des
able
choses,
to see these
donc c'est
guys
cool.
in their prime. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and not to bring the soup ladle up too much, but I do want to say I love that they included the soup ladle. You know, that they're bringing it back, and we see those same touches from Breath of the Wild in this game. And Chico mentioned that the weapons aren't breakable, so you really could, you know, equip that soup ladle if you wanted a serious challenge. You could fight with the soup
Je suis
ladle.
pas sûr.
You
Je sais pas si vous
could
avez
use
compris,
weapons
mais
to
vous
make
savez
the
la,
soup stronger.
la cuillère qu'on peut
Yeah.
avoir si on précommande le jeu. En
I
fait, on
love
peut la
it. I
prendre
love
et
that you
augmenter
use
ses
the soup ladle
capacités,
without the pot lid as a shield too.
histoire d'en faire une arme ultime et essayer de
Alright,
terminer le
so
jeu
we're
avec. Mais
looking
ouais, bon.
at Impa now.
Donc retour avec Impa,
Yeah.
enfin retour,
So
bon,
what I want
Impa,
to show is
qu'on a
the
déjà vu donc
distance,
sur
but I need
d'autres
to
vidéos.
take care of these guys first because these guys is in my
Nice.
way.
Il n'y en a pas de son. Voilà, merci.
Okay. Ah!
So obviously, this is a new depiction of Impa that we're seeing here.
Donc où est-ce qu'on est là?
But Chico is about to show us just what Impa is capable of in the gameplay.
I love her. I love Impa so much. I think she's so much fun to play.
Donc on n'est pas loin
She's
du
so
château.
quick, and she has these different jutsu attacks.
Oh,
that
on
she
n'avait pas vu
like
ça.
the summoning of the frog.
Excellent. Oh, il y a un inox.
Creation of
I
foam.
killed them! Let's go!
You did. That was an impressive use of the electric rod, I have to say.
Inox.
And here we have a Hinox. I love it. So yeah, as I was saying, Impa's gameplay, being able to absorb those symbols to create the clones and then strengthen the strong attack when she has all of her clones out is it's really fun. Takes a lot of strategy and timing. Nice.
Alors là, elle lui a découpé les parties génitales, si je peux me permettre.
Her Sheikah rune usage does
C'est intéressant, vous avez vu quand il a fait le
looked at today, too.
saut pour l'attaquer, ça a touché aussi les
You can
bocaux
do it.
blancs.
So we discussed earlier
is ready.
the usage of runes in order to create openings to counter strong enemies. And it's even more important that you do that when fighting these big monsters too, because
Donc là, je pense qu'on est un peu plus loin dans le jeu parce qu'elle a beaucoup de cœur.
You can create
like
these
that.
great dramatic openings for yourself. And it really is vital that you get these weak point smashes in because they do so
Excellent.
much damage. And it can really make it easy to, or easier, I should say, to take these guys out.
To take out the poor Hinox that was just having a nap, minding his own business,
I don't
doing
know
his own
about that.
thing. Well, I mean, I would be grumpy too if I got woken up like that.
That's fair. Nice work,
Chico's
Chico.
making short work of this guy.
She really is.
I love that flying squirrel move. The maniacal laughter, yes.
Ok, là, moi, un spécial.
Nice. All right, I think that's
All right, I
all the
think
time we
that's-
have left for today. Let's stop beating up on this poor Hinox and let him go back to his nap.
Ok, c'est terminé pour aujourd'hui, elle vient de le dire.
Alright.
Ok.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which releases Friday, November 20th. We hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. And have a great day.
Eh ben, merci.
Bye.
Mhm. Bon, bah, écoutez, c'était intéressant parce qu'on a quand même eu certaines réponses. Maintenant, on sait exactement à quoi servent tous les objets qu'on peut ramasser dans le jeu, ce qui est très très cool. Euh, on a vu Urbosa en action. C'était très classe, hein. Même si, je pense que vous l'avez vu, il y a quelques problèmes de caméra, mais c'est parce que l'environnement dans la cité est assez fermé, donc on a vu qu'une fois arrivé à l'extérieur, ça allait beaucoup mieux. Énormément de persos à l'écran aussi. Alors, je sais que c'est propre à la saga des Dynasty Warriors d'avoir énormément d'ennemis, mais j'ai pas fait attention s'il y avait eu des ralentissements. À un moment, il m'a semblé, lors d'un gros combo de Urbosa dans la cité, qu'il y avait eu une petite baisse de framerate. Mais rien de dramatique non plus. Donc ouais, donc on a eu un personnage en plus ici, qu'on n'avait pas encore vu. Donc il va nous rester qui à voir? Il va nous rester Revali, qu'on n'a pas encore vu, qui est mon prodige préféré. Il nous reste Mifa, qu'on n'a pas encore vu non plus. On a vu Zelda aussi. On n'avait pas encore vu vraiment de gameplay de elle. On avait vu dans, je crois que c'était le premier trailer ou le second, qu'on pouvait la jouer et qu'elle se battait aussi. On n'avait pas vu de grosses séquences de gameplay. On en a eu une relativement courte ici. On en a eu une. Et donc on ne sait toujours pas si Pharas, pru'ha et le roi vont être jouables. J'espère, hein. Normalement dans les Dynasty Warriors ou même dans Hyrule Warriors, il y a énormément de personnages jouables, donc ce serait étonnant qu'on n'en ait qu'une poignée dans celui-là. Mais écoutez, on a eu pas mal d'infos, donc entre ce Pikmin3 Deluxe qui a l'air très très propre, même si ils n'ont pas parlé de online et j'espère vraiment qu'il y en aura dedans. Donc entre ce Pikmin3 Deluxe et ce Hyrule Warrior, c'est assez propre, hein. Assez satisfait. Bref, dites-moi ce que vous en avez pensé dans les commentaires, n'hésitez pas. N'hésitez pas aussi à vous abonner à la chaîne. C'était Brocorse. Je vous dis à plus.